Hello everybody and welcome back to another gameplay video for World of Warships Legends. Today we are in the Tier 7 battleship, the USS Iowa. This is in the American, the first battleship actually they added. This is the one without Kansas and stuff. We are on the map Crash Zone with 2 destroyers per team, and it's also a carry game. The enemy carrier is a Lexington, and I believe our carrier is an Implacable. Now, for our commander builds, we are running William Sims with Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bots, Marksmanship, and Reaching Out. Though for this game, I believe we are using Emergency Specialist just to get the faster damage con cooldown. Our inspirations are Andrew Cunningham with Nikolai von Essen. With our upgrades, we are using the Turret Traverse mod, Propulsion mod, Concealment mod, and Plotting Room. Almost said reload mod there. I wouldn't recommend running reload mod unless you really are desperate for a faster reload. Now we are on the south side of the map here at sea, and there are only, I believe, 2 enemy ships at this spawn. There's a Charlemagne there, a very rare ship, haven't seen that in months, and another ship, I forget what it is. There is enemy carrier has come to this side of the map, which is weird because I believe he spawned on the other side and he's dropped us first thing, and he does take out our engine there. We do take a shot at the enemy guys now, and I think, yeah, we get about nice 17k there. Now, seeing that we've shot down pretty much all the carrier's aircraft and there's no risk of him getting a flood on us, we decided to repair our engine to get moving again. Now I'm going to go ahead and go around the south here because I'm unaware that the enemy only has 2 ships here. Speaking of the 2 ships, the enemy ship's the Nagato over there, who is not going to have a very fun game. Now the enemy ZF6 has just died somehow. I'm pretty sure it got radared better by the Belfast that's behind me. So they're already down a destroyer. Now, I may have noticed me and that carrier telling the Allied Bismarck to get back at the start of this game. And, well, this is something I have to tell people constantly not to do. Is if you spawn on a flank of the map, the only time it's acceptable is if you spawn in the middle. It's the only time it's acceptable to leave where you spawn. Some ships just won't do well in the middle of the map, and that's fine. But if you spawned at the bottom of the map, like that guy now did, you can see him. He's going all the way round to A for absolutely no reason. Yeah, I don't understand why people do this. Anyways, that Charlemagne's come out from the other side of the island. Took an absolute beating there. And the kill's going to get yoinked by the Z-35, though the Implacable did also try to yoink it as well. We're going to take a shot here at the enemy Nagato. Pretty poor dispersion again. The dispersion seems to be somewhat iffy on the Iowa. I'm not sure what it is, but sometimes it's going to be really inconsistent. But we do still get 12k because Nagato is coated in 25. So we can, of course, overmatch him. Just going to pop one of my free heals here. We're going to aim intentionally high on this shot here in order to, because I think I can't really lob the island, so I intentionally aim a bit high. We still managed to land a Citadel for 30k there. Well, that's pretty much double our damage, and Nagato is oh, he's gonna die. He's not really had a very good time. That's tier 6 and tier 7 for you. Now the rest of this match here, we're going to spend mainly just further back a bit, because we don't really have a choice. All the enemy ships this side of the map have already all died, so we're going to have to start by long and arduous trek up to B and A. We did take a shot out of Brandenburg, but I believe he's accelerated a bit, so we don't land all the shells we want, but we still get 12k with 4 pens, which is not too shabby in my opinion. Our Belfast's smoking. I'm not sure why. There's no risk of him really being shot at, and there's little risk of him being spotted. I aim up another shot on a Brandenburg there, but the island does get in our way and stops that. There's an enemy Veneto over there. He's going to be slightly annoying. We're going to take a shot at him. except he's turning out, I believe, so he's just on the edge of our range, so I don't think we're going to actually land any shells on this guy. Going to have to sit through our reload here with all the stupid guneyes now. That's another downside of the Iowa is your reload is 30 seconds by default, which is standard for a battleship reload pretty much on average, except at tier 7, where most battleships are going to have a reload in maybe the mid-20s, something like Richelieu, that Brandenburg we shot at earlier. All those kind of ships, mid-late 20s, some get early 20-second reload, like Vanguard, whatnot, Bismarck. And one other problem, well, actually I say one other, there are a few other problems with the Bismarck. Sorry, the Iowa here. It's squishy. It's not, you can obviously bounce things, because it's tier 7, all tier 7s can bounce things, and you do still have that vertitude, so you are going to be overmatched. But your superstructure is massive, and it's got loads of hit points, so it's not going to saturate very easily, and people are still going to be absolutely smashing it if you're not careful. You don't turn very well, you've got quite a large turning circle, and I'm pretty sure your rudder shift isn't very good. Which is why for quite a long time I actually ran steering gears, which makes it one of the only battleships that actually ran steering gears on instead of propulsion. I do still recommend you take propulsion though, that's pretty much vital to all battleships at this point. We get some pretty tight grouping on some of those shells there, but unfortunately we had not the best aim there, and I believe the guys now moves a bit, so those all ricochet. We are going to be shooting the enemy Bismarck here. We intentionally aim lower and to the left in order to, because what we're going to try and do is hopefully that's going to hit the bottom of the superstructure and cause some pretty nasty damage. Unfortunately they don't. We get the classic Iowa trolley guns there. We only land 2 shells and only do about, well, I don't even know how much damage we did. I know we got 1300 for an overpen at least. We considered taking in the shot of the enemy Veneto there, but we decided not to. Our destroyers are gunning down a Bismarck and actually distracting him, so that's actually good for us. Which allows us to open up and get all of our guns around. But dispersion, again, not the greatest. They actually land all over a ship, but because of the pen angles, we still managed to get about 15k there. Enemy Veneto there is, looks like he's trying to go for the ram on our, I think it might be Strasbourg. I'm not really sure, but either way he's missed. We take a shot here at the Bismarck, we finish him off there, we accidentally fire our first gun as we realise that we killed him. So the enemy's now down to just 2 ships left. They've got the carrier and the destroyer, and that's it. Now, interestingly, the enemy carrier has gone right round the top of the map here, and he's still going. We're going to do a nice turn here, get all of our guns around. Someone smacks him. We're going to take a somewhat auto-aim shot there. We get some pretty nice dispersion. And absolutely no citadels, but we do still get 6 pens and 2 overpens for a lot of damage. That gives us the high skillable there. And the Lexington is going to be finished before we get another shot off. I immediately switch to explosive because it's just a destroyer left. And destroyer actually gets spotted here by the carrier, I believe. But spoiler alert is we're not going to actually land any shells on this enemy destroyer here. So we're just going to finish up on about 148k here. So a pretty decent game for the Iowa. It's 148k and also the high caliber medal. So not too bad of a result. I was hoping for a bit more, but unfortunately the enemies were all kind of all over the place there. So on to the next game it is. Now, for our second game, we are on the map Sleeping Giant. This is a domination battle. One destroyer a team, and also another carrier game. I believe at this point I have changed my build to include reaching out instead of the emergency specialist. Also, I have forgotten to take spotter aircraft. I do still have catapult fighter, which is still the useless fighter. I used to run that all the time. I don't anymore, but I have forgotten to switch it. I do remember that at this point, I think I've played about maybe 10, maybe almost nearing 15 games in the Iowa. Because all these videos, when I make these videos, they're all recorded in the same day, pretty much. So this one was recorded a few hours after the previous one. The main... I remember, I think at this point, I was getting really frustrated with my lack of being good in the Iowa. But we are going to get a pretty nice, well, yeah, a pretty nice game here. We've got a Suzora and another battleship on this flank, which I think is a Bismarck anyway. So, it's good to know who we can't and can rely on. I'm actually going quarter speed at the start here. Sleeping Giant is a very peculiar map because everyone who spawns on the right flank in the middle spawn, which is kind of more on the right to be honest. And the right spawn all huddle around these islands at the back here, which generally makes for some pretty stale gameplay. And there is an enemy pommen here. I'm going to wait for him to turn up before I get taken a shot, I believe. Unfortunately, there's a bit too much lead there, I think. But we still get a very nice 18k salvo into that guy. His classic German dispersion is so bad, he hits both me and the Azuma at the same time. Now we tried to take another shot there, but unfortunately that was just not very successful. Our long reload did not enable us to take that shot, but I believe we are going to take the one here. Unfortunately, I think he turns out and we don't really get a lot. No, we still get a nice chunk there. It takes us up to 31,000 damage at least. Now, two enemy cruisers over here have decided to show themselves, so we're going to go forwards in a second. And we're going to try and get some shots onto them, but they are somewhat hidden by the island. I'm trying to tell what the Pommen's, what his plan is. He's kind of done the typical German battleship player thing of run in, lose the majority, if not all of your health, and then either flee for the rest of the battle or you just die. He's going to die this game. So the enemy, they've got Suzora over here. I think they've actually just got another cruiser. Someone absolutely demolishes that Suzora, and the enemy Tulsa shows up. Wild enemy whale here. Now I'm going to make a poor decision in hindsight. I'm going to aim a bit high and a bit too further backwards. Now the reason I do this is we also get some pretty bad dispersion there, some really bad dispersion from the Iowa. Is because I assume most people at this game are at this tier will know something about what they're doing. That guy didn't. I aimed that high and that far back in anticipation he was going to try and slow down and turn out. He didn't. He just kept travelling in a straight line. So sometimes you just can't beat stupidity. I'll take a shot here with the Azuma, trying to aim under the front guns here. He turns in a bit, shots go a bit too high, but we still land all of them, and they all pen for some pretty meaty damage now. That's up 71,000. At this point, the game's pretty much already been won. The enemy team lost their destroyer at some point, I'm not really sure why, and they've lost their Tulsa and their Pommen to complete suicide. I aim for the under the front gun shots again on the Azuma. However, you can see the shells kind of part there and go absolutely not where I want to. of them to go, but I still get about 11k. That's some truly awful dispersion on the rear turret there, get a pen for no damage. Now, the enemy cruiser, the San Diego, I believe, has just turned up in B. He's not going to be very long for this world. He's going to get absolutely spanked by someone. Or the carrier. He might actually get hit by the carrier really hard here. I think he does. I think we've got some kind of... I think it's either a Zeppelin or... no, actually, it didn't hit him very hard. And you've got a poor man's Jean Bart over there. There's a poor man's Jean Bart and the Richelieu over there, who's next to him, aren't going to... I don't know what these guys are trying to do. They're kind of thirsting after this one other guy. Yeah, I told you, enemy San Diego's already died there. Great ship, by the way. Enemy Azuma has finally been burnt to death by our presumably HE slinging Iwami, which is classic. I'm surprised you're still seeing them around. It's about an update and a half on from that now, from the whole HE spamming Iwami thing, and it's still going on. I don't know what about the Iwami makes people HE spamming it, but they just do, and you can't really change that. Taking a shot here on a Richelieu, purposefully aiming high because of the old French black hole armor there, because we know probably he's going to get like torpedo protection hits or some bullshit on his belt, but we get 5 over pens anyway. So that's French armor for you. Plus the this version again, trolley Iowa guns, as is normal. Now we do have a battleship over at A over there, who's pretty much just an absolute Chad. He's pretty much holding off the entire enemy team that's been at A, and also a carrier at the same time, so I'm impressed by him. So again, props to that guy. Take a shot on the Richelieu here. That one's better with 15,700. He's going to pop a heal whilst we hopefully manage to take B without being reset. Richelieu's stopped there, so we're going to aim higher, kind of into the base of the superstructure as secondaries, whatnot. Get some really nice dispersion there on some of the guns, but just not really enough. We're going to get this cap here right now. And the Le Foudre and the Richelieu, who are probably in a division, by the way, of our acting, are going to go into a brawl with what's left of the health of that battleship over there. I can't even remember what he is. Republic, actually. No, I just recognising me by the outline there, the Republic. I'll get 10k into the enemy Foudre. Republic's going to die here though at some point. I think the next tower from yeah, Richelieu's got him. I put my own plane up here because I've taken the fighter like an absolute noob to just try and get some spotting, maybe spot those battleships again, seeing what they're doing, maybe even spot the carrier if he's deciding to hug the island at A, which wouldn't be the first time I've seen a carrier do this. Enemy Foudre and Richelieu both on very low health there. I think the Foudre is going to die by fire, I think. Or the Buffalo gets him. That Buffalo's going to get a crack in this game, I think, so congratulations to him, I guess. Following a little cut here, I think the enemy carriers... I think we're going to spot him, or our carrier's going to spot him. Speaking of carriers, finishing the Richelieu, or sorry, the Buffalo's finishing the Richelieu. There is his Kraken. Already got the turrets ready for carrier, and there he is. We're going to apply some leak because carriers aren't exactly slow. We're going to cross our fingers here and we do get a citadel at about half health per carrier, up to 146k, and that gives us the high caliber as well. Now, because of carriers actually have pretty bad detectability now, I remember back in the day when they actually had some almost cruiser-like detectability. He's going to remain spotted here as we take our next shot. He's slowing down a bit, I'm not sure why. I think he's just trying to park behind that island. There's some pretty tight dispersion there, very nice. And we take the carrier out of the citadel, and that ends the game. Pretty rare not to have a game drag on until either the time runs out or we win on points or we lose on points because of a carrier there. But actually, I think that all carriers should be not traversing to the back of the map when the game ends. So that's 170k for the Tier 7 USS Iowa. So that does bring us to the end of this video. My final thoughts on the Iowa is she's fairly decent, if not a bit overhyped by the some particular members of the community, and I think the average Iowa player doesn't really give her much justice. She's got again a few issues in the armor department. She gets chunked very easily. She does get citadel pretty easily because her citadel is above the water, and her accuracy can at times be undesirable, but she's still a pretty reliable and pretty trusty ship in the right hands. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. My last video, the Salem video, actually did really well. I think it's up to about 800-ish views at the time I'm recording this, which will be about the day before you watch this video. So I would like to keep up that steam train, so again, like and subscribe, typical YouTuber shenanigans, and see you all in the next video. Toodaloo, au revoir, bye bye.